Okay, hello, welcome to this session on Gemini. We titled it Gemini, Your Secret Weapon. And so I'm looking forward to having some fun with Gemini and with you guys today once again. So just thank you for being with me. Um, like I had said, if you're just now coming in, feel free to open up your mic to ask any questions or leave it into the chat. But let's go ahead and get started. So I'm looking forward to just having some fun. I want to have some fun with this, make it a little bit more, I guess, less formal, a little more casual, if that sounds good to everyone. Just a few commercials before we get started. So in case you didn't know, all of us, we are your technology integration team. I'm joined by the director of technology integration, Miss Isabel Espinoza. She's right up there in the corner waving. And I'm also joined by the other instructional tech coordinators, just as myself. We've got Sherry Marks, there she is, and Miss Marissa Lopez. And also today, she couldn't be with us, but there's also the newest member of our team. Her name is Alexandria Behill, and she's our tech. She's our computer tech with the integration team. And of course, my name is Josh Voiles. And so once again, just welcome. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. You can reach us by emailing at itech. I keep saying it wrong, itech@midlandisd.net. And so the little I there is short for, it used to be instructional technology. So I know it sounds like information technology, but the I is for instructional. So that's how you can reach us if you need to. Another thing is that we have a technology newsletter that we send out every month. It's really cool. It's got a lot of really cool stuff in it. That's all I'm going to say. And it's specifically for teachers with Midland. So visit midlandisd.net/tech newsletter to check that out. There's also an archive of all the past articles that we've pushed out as well. So you can go back and look through some of that cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff on AI that we did last year. If you're looking for that. Also, we do our Tech Tuesdays, which is a 30-minute bi-weekly virtual PD session. We have the same session that usually repeats twice in a row, one at 3:30 and one at 4:15. You can visit our calendar at midlandisd.net/Tech Tuesdays to see all of the upcoming stuff that is coming to Tech Tuesday. We're going to be talking about Magic School AI tomorrow. I think Marissa's going to be doing that one for us. And then coming up, we're also going to be talking about classroom practice sets. We're going to be doing one on Canva. Everyone loves Canva. And then in March, we're going to be having one on Nearpod. But once again, you can always be checking that calendar to see what's coming up next. Also, please, if you are on X, follow us. You can find us at MISD Tech. I believe that's the handle. I think I needed to update this slide, but I think it's at, is that correct, Marissa? At MISD Tech? I think that's it. So you can see the handle right on there. I think it's Midland ISD Technology, but it's at MISD Tech. And so we're always posting a lot of the cool stuff that we're doing in upcoming trainings, Tech Tuesdays, all that good stuff. So give that a follow. Also, for anyone who's joining in on Tech Tuesday, also for today's trainings, we're offering SBEC and CPE credit. That's going to be available in Eduphoria. So if you know of any teachers who maybe need to re-up their certification, they can easily get those credits by joining us on Tech Tuesdays. So just keep that in mind. So, okay, let's go ahead and just jump into Gemini. Give me a thumbs up or just a raise of your hand or whatever. Who's ever used Gemini? Okay, so we have some people who have, some people who haven't. Sherry, I know you've used it. She gave me the little. All right, so but that's great. And Finita, yes. She's raising her hand or leaving something in the chat.
I think she's saying me too.
Okay, great. Okay, and then Angelica says me too. Okay, so that's great. That's perfect because this will hopefully be a really exciting introduction to Gemini to get you going. I love Gemini. I use it a lot. It's kind of crazy because, you know, for like literally since I was in college, I've been wanting to start I wanted to start a t-shirt business. That was just one of the little dreams that I always had. And so here in the last couple of months, I've been doing that. Guess what's helping me to start my t-shirt business? Gemini. So it's really cool. It's helping me write a lot of the listings that I'm creating. So you can use it for anything. And think about all of the possibilities as a teacher, or even just in any kind of a job description in a school district of what you could use Gemini for. It can pretty much do anything and help you write emails, come up with prompts for teaching lessons, lesson plans, all kinds of stuff. And so we're going to hopefully scratch a little bit of the surface today. This is if you go back to that first slide, if I go back to the first slide here, you can scan this QR code and get this presentation. So I'll leave that up for just a second, because if you want this QR code, I have this resource page in there full of resources for you. And if you didn't get to scan that code yet, you can email me and I'll be happy to send you the presentation. But I've got this resource list, and so this is kind of some of the stuff, some of the links, the helpful links that that you would need to get started with Gemini. And some of these are just different things that we're going to talk about here. Also, basically, I don't have a slideshow for you. I'm just going to jump into Gemini. But before we get started, this is just a couple of things I wanted to talk about before we jump in, because, with Gemini, the best way to do it is just to get into it and for me to show it to you. But what you also kind of need to realize is that MISD has enabled the basic version of Gemini to work with our Google for Education Plus. And so basically, when you enable Gemini for Workspace, which is something that we're going to be talking about, you can enable that extension. You can use Gemini to search through your emails, docs, Drive, and more. You have to do it from the prompt on the main Gemini page, but that is something that we're going to look at here in just a second. So just wanted you to know that that's kind of what we have and what we're able to do with Gemini. Real quick, a word about our AI policy and some of the data protection stuff that you probably want to know about is that, especially if you're a teacher and you're going to be using Gemini, there are some best practices to follow. And so you want to make for sure that you're never pasting or mentioning any student personal information. So any kind of PI whatsoever, you want to stay away from that, just to be on the safe side. If I'm not mistaken, I think Gemini or Google has some sort of a statement where they say they don't record, but it's always a best practice, and to follow the MISD policy is to never use personal information when you're using any kind of, not just Gemini, but any kind of artificial intelligence. So you never want to be posting it into the chat. You don't want to upload any PDFs, docs, or IEPs, or any other sensitive documents, because yes, you can upload documents into Gemini. You want to remove all identifiers, addresses, all that kind of stuff, email addresses. General queries, use AI tools for general research rather than highly specific tasks that involve student data. Always, of course, you want to make sure that you're secure on your networks and in your devices. Keep your software up to date, and make sure that you're always using strong passwords. So just a quick little disclaimer there before we get started using Gemini. You want to make sure that you're always following those best practices. Oh, and I guess I accidentally, this is the end slide. So that's my cue. Now what we're going to do is I'm just going to leave my presentation. We're going to jump right into Gemini, okay? And I'm going to share my other tab here. And can everyone see that? You should be looking right at my Gemini. Okay, so if you don't know, basically Gemini, this is what it looks like. It's I have been using it, so you're going to see a lot of the prompts that I've been using on that right-hand side. If you don't know how to get to Gemini, you just go to Google. Just Google Gemini.
Josh,
Yes.
you have someone. Lauren, raise your hand.
Sorry. So Gemini, I just want to be clear that Gemini is not part of the waffle. Like, you have to access it through you have to type it in.
Yes. So it's basically a website. And what I do is I kind of keep it favorited. Here in just a second, I'm going to show you how to pin the extension that we're going to be using. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it's like an app that you go to, right?
In the waffle.
Is it in the waffle?
It is.
I did not know that. I should have known that.
Mhm.
Did I know that? Maybe I did know that and I just forgot.
We've talked about it previously.
Ah, yes, it is. Okay. Well, thank you, Sherry. Okay, yeah, so it's right there in your waffle, which is even easier. You can kind of get to it the same way that you would get to like your Gmail or something really easy, or like your Google Drive. So even better, right? That's awesome. So yes, it is an app that you can get to right from the waffle. So that's a very good question. The waffle, very good question. And so this is kind of what it looks like. For some reason, I just like to do things the hard way. I'm used to just going on Google to get to it, but it'll always bring up that same Gemini. You know what I mean? Once you get into it for the first time. And so basically, what I have today is kind of on this other screen that you can't see. I have a list of things because unlike other trainings, I'm not going to be able to go to different apps and show you different things. We're going to be spending most of the time in here. So what I have are some prompts and some things on some notes on the side that I want to kind of try out with you together. So basically, with any kind of AI, the thing that you want to really get good at is better prompt, how to type out better prompts. And so the key thing, I'm just going to be honest, I'm not the best at giving prompts or writing prompts. So the key thing that you want to, well, there's really two things that you want to keep in mind when giving prompts or writing better prompts is you want to always give Gemini some context. You kind of have to think of Gemini as almost like when you're talking to another person, how if you just start in the middle of a sentence, like, hey, write an email about the thing that we're going to do next week. It's not really going to understand. So it's going to be more general in the product that it gives you. So the more specific you can be, the better. And the more context you can give, the better. So that's really just the key of writing better prompts is give it more specific information, just kind of go a little more into detail about what it is that you need. And Gemini is usually going to do, from what I've experienced, always does a pretty good job. Even without some context, it comes up with some really great stuff. So that's just a quick note about better prompts. So I figured what a good example it might be to go ahead and start off on this email prompt. This was a prompt that I gave it because we were trying to come up with a theme for a holiday party event that we were going to have. So I just put write a short email thanking the district technology department for their involvement in the floors decoration contest. Okay, so this was the email we sent. It wasn't the event that we were having. It was the thank you that we sent out. And Alex, she did a really great job. And so we wanted to thank everyone for their help. And basically our theme was the Nightmare Before Christmas. And so what I said, come up with a theme on the Nightmare Before Christmas. So this is what it gave me. It says, thanks for the spectacular support. And I thought that was really cool. And it says, hi, technology department name. We wanted to take a moment to thank you all for for helping with the floors Nightmare Before Christmas decoration. So it came up with all of this, right? And if I scroll down, you can see here, all I did was kind of updated it. So that's the cool part about Gemini. Is like a chat where you can almost have a conversation with it, right? And I just prompted it again, change the subject to be more Christmassy. So that's my version of better prompts, right? Writing a better prompt is make it more Christmassy, right? I didn't even know Christmassy was a word. But the crazy part is that it actually kind of understood that. And it came up with a new email and it says, the subject it came up with was a very merry techie Christmas. And so as you can see, it comes up with some really good stuff. And it's really interesting what you can get by just kind of giving it a little more specificity. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing to show y'all, was just kind of, and I've got a ton of these. So let's kind of look at this, how you can go into this. Oh, one other thing, this I thought was really fun. If I go over here to images, I'm going to show you guys how to do all of this in a second. This was something that I learned about actually in preparation for this training. I didn't know that Gemini could actually create images. So here's a quick tip for you. If you want to create or generate an image, all you have to type in is create an image of. Okay, that's what you specifically need to type into the chat. Just type in create an image of, and then you can put like a colon or a dash and then describe what it is you want. But you have to type in specifically create an image of. I didn't try typing in create a photo of or create a picture of, because I honestly am not for sure that'll work. What I read in research was that you have to type in create an image of, and that kind of prompts Gemini to know, okay, he or she wants an actual picture of something. So this is a cool example that I did. I just put create an image of a bulldog wearing gold and purple and gold football jersey, just as an example of something that you might want to create, or like a teacher might want to create, like if they're trying to generate something for maybe an advertisement or a promotion for some sort of a school event, and maybe they want to have the mascot. I thought this was really cool. Then I tried some more. I said, create an image of a teacher conference. Okay. Now the teacher conference was kind of weird. And what I noticed is it works better with animals than with people, which in a sense is kind of a good thing, because we don't want to cross the boundary of Gemini is just trying to keep us safe with some guardrails. And then I put create an image of eagles having a lunch conference, because maybe the eagle might be like another mascot for a school. And that's kind of what it came up with, right? And then I was just curious. I thought, well, can it create an image of just a school? And so I typed in create an image of a school, and that's what it gave me. I put create an image of a logo for a school district technology department. All right. And I just was curious because we already have a fantastic one. But as you can see, this is kind of what it's going to give you. It's not always going to be perfect, but it will generate images, which I thought was really cool. So once again, you just want to type in create an image of, and if it doesn't work for you, you can always click this regenerate, and it will create something new for you if you don't like it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can kind of toggle back and forth between, see, there's the new one that it created. And you can see sometimes it actually misspells and gets the characters or the text wrong. But once you have a couple, you can actually toggle between the different choices that it gives you. And you can do, I think, as many regenerations as you want. And then you can kind of flip through those and find the one that you like the best. So you can see it's kind of thinking, and that was pretty cool, I guess. So, and if anything, it's not going to give you a good logo, it might give you a good idea. So I think that that's very valuable. Now, what you want to do, here's the next tip, is you want to keep all of your threads separate, okay? When I first started using Gemini, what I would do is I would just put everything into the same chat. And then I realized over here on the left side, if you guys can see those, that you actually can have different threads. So you can see I'm scrolling through all of the different threads that I have. And whenever you click this plus sign up at the top, you click the plus sign, and that's actually what is going to start a new thread or a new chat. I guess that's what I should call it, is a chat. You want to keep all of your chats separate. And whenever you create one, they will appear over here. I think the latest ones that you create are more towards the bottom. So that's what you want to do, because when you keep your threads separate, Gemini is kind of being trained, and you're kind of keeping that kind of same conversation. It's like having a conversation with someone and staying on topic. Have you ever tried to change the subject or switch off a topic, and your friend you were talking was like, wait, you're changing the subject. Stay on topic. Okay, that's what you have to kind of do with Gemini. You have to stay on topic, and it'll just kind of make it easier to keep that same thread going. And another thing is more of an organization for you, is it keeps it organized for you and easier to get to. So you can see here, I've got a few different threads going. I've got one for emails. Here's the one that I'm actually using for today. I have one for Twitter. This is a cool one because I haven't used it a whole lot, but I asked it to come up with some Twitter post ideas. And I think it'll actually even give you hashtags and stuff like that, depending on whatever social media you're asking it to generate for. There's all kinds of stuff in here that I've used. And so now that all of those are organized, I can always go back. If I needed to do an email, I'll go back to the email thread. Does that kind of make sense? So I thought that was really cool. You always want to do that. Now, at the top, you can see I have my most important. How you would do that is, because let's say you have a really important one, but it's more new, so it's at the bottom. So let's say this learning.com, let's say to me that was really important, and I don't want to have to scroll all the way down to find that thread. Well, what I can do is click on the three dots. You see this little pin? I can pin that to the top, and now it's right up there at the top. Okay, so it's going to be actually at the bottom of it. So they're still in order, but pinned up at the top together. So you can keep all of your most important threads pinned that way really easily. I had already talked about the regenerate button. Let me show you another example. I want to go to this one that we had. We did a smart board. I keep calling it a symposium, but it was like it was a meeting that we had, and I used it. I used that for a really good example. Oh, load more. So you see, sometimes you have to click load more to see. Well, I'll just show you with the Twitter. Okay. So I couldn't find the example I wanted to give because I have too many. So I just put right for Twitter, join us and special guest Monica Martinez for a Canva edition of Tech Tuesday. All right. And I think this was something I had already rewrote. But let's say that what Gemini gave me I didn't like. So just the same way with the images that I did, that little regenerate, I can click that again, and it will come up with a new generation. And see, this time it gave me a little bit more. So this time it says, here's a rewritten version for Twitter, Tech Tuesday, and it's really cool. It actually even put the little emojis. I think that's really cool. Join us and special guest Monica Martinez to explore the magic of Canva's new AI tools. And notice it put the ampersand instead of spelling out the word and, because it knows that you're writing for Twitter. So little things like that it just really helps. And then it gave me those hashtags. Okay. And so if I didn't like that, I could regenerate it again. The same way I did the images, I could regenerate a prompt and get a different one. And now I can go through with these little arrows and find the one that I like the best. So everything is going to be right there. Don't forget, if you can't find something you're looking for, it's maybe in one of these arrows. So just so you know that it will regenerate, and you kind of have to flip through those to find the one you want. Another really cool thing is there's an email button. So let's say I liked this second one the best, and I want to email that to somebody so that they can use that on our Twitter page. So if I go to this share and export button down here at the bottom, you can see it gives me the option to export to docs, or I can actually draft it in Gmail. So if I click draft in Gmail, it says new email created, open Gmail. And if I go over to that link, it's going to open right up in my Gmail, and it's going to put that into an email already. I don't even have to copy and paste it. I thought that was really cool. So just so you know, you can do that. Let me go back to Gemini. Am I sharing still? Can y'all see that? I think I just lost my page.
Just don't forget to erase the here's your revised version of.
Yes, it kind of puts in the prompt, right? So you want to. Okay, Lauren has a question.
Sorry.
No problem.
As I'm just kind of playing around, what if you create a prompt, and maybe you'll get to this, but if you create a prompt and it just kind of does like a general framework for it, like say you say I want a symbol or something, or I want some sort of image, and then it looks like a couple of mine that were created looks like it just kind of has like fake letters to kind of fill out the space. How do you go in and edit that? Do you have to edit it in the prompt?
That's a great question. So I honestly, I'm going to be super honest right now. I haven't tried. What I would do personally is you could try to put in quotes and give it the exact text that you want it to say, and tell it, put this at the bottom of the logo. I honestly don't know if it'll work, but you could try it. Okay. Now, if it doesn't work, there's a second solution. I would just say, bring it into Canva. Okay. And I know that's that's an extra step. It's kind of a little more work. But the cool part about Canva is that, you can crop really easy. You just click on it and you can crop that text out and then just type in your own text. So maybe not the best solution, but it is a solution.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. But I would honestly, I would try giving it like the more specific prompt and maybe actually type out what you want it to say. That might kind of keep it from doing that gibberish that it likes to do. So that's a great question. I'm sorry if I had forethought that, I would have tested it myself. But
No, that's helpful. Thank you.
absolutely. So, and I apologize, guys. I have a little bit of a runny nose today. Okay, so we talked about the email button, export to docs. Let's try that. I wanted to show you guys that. I thought that was really cool too. I think really what it does is exact same thing. It's going to create a document, and then you can open that in a new doc, and you can see it does the same. And this I thought was really cool too. This is kind of what I was using for my t-shirt business. Just for fun, was I was putting everything kind of in a document to kind of keep it as a template. So if you're trying to build a template, that's a great way to do that. Okay, there's also this really cool feature. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear it, but if you click on the 3 dots, you can actually listen to it read.
Here's a rewritten version for Twitter. Tech Tuesday.
Can y'all
Join
hear
us
that?
and special guest Monica Martinez to explore the magic of Canva's new AI.
So you can't hear that?
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay, yeah. So you can see it's reading it off. I think it's beneficial to hear it sometimes. So you can listen to it that way. There was some other stuff in there. You can double check the response, which is basically more for like probably academic stuff. It's going to kind of skewer the internet. Scour. It's going to scour through the internet. It's going to skewer the internet. It's going to search through the internet to double check that everything is accurate. So that's kind of a cool tool, I think, in my opinion. And then of course there's the copy, where if you just want to copy and paste it somewhere, you could do that as well. Like if you're not necessarily taking it to an email or to a document. Okay, now there's this really cool, let me see, edit and update. So let's go back to one of those. Well, I'll use this same Twitter post. Let's say I want to not regenerate, but I want to actually, I like this, so I want to edit it. Okay, there's a sneaky little pencil tool. If you have to hover over on the top of your prompt at the top. It took me forever to find this because it just disappears. You see how it disappears if you move your mouse? So if you move right onto your prompt, you can click this little edit text. And let's say you want to, oh, you know, it's not with Monica. Her name is Amy. I forgot. I got her name wrong. Okay. So now I can update that, and it's going to regenerate that with the updated information. So if you don't want to have to rewrite a prompt, you just need to edit the prompt. That's a cool way to just edit and revise. Okay. So I call it the sneaky pencil, the sneaky little pencil tool. Okay. Okay. So now what I want to do is, I think we still have some time. I want to talk about enabling Google for Workspace and how to set that up.
Can I mention something, Josh, before
Sure.
the workspace? Okay, just because I'm very OCD and I like things clean and precise, and I don't want to mess things up, if you use the Gemini, you cannot delete your chats. So if you hover over rewriting for Twitter over on the left side, on the very end on the left, Josh, if you try to delete this whole thread, it won't. So
Over here on the left?
Yeah, so you can rename your chat, but you can't delete it. So I like just to have like mine the way I want to. So before you get started and you start making new chats, just keep that in mind, because it'll be there forever. And then you can't go back and use this little editing pencil to delete former threads or conversations within that chat. So just wanted to throw that out there before you start having lots of chats and then you can't get rid of them, because I like to keep mine very organized and OCD. So just in case anybody needed that tip.
That's great. I honestly didn't even think about that. So, right, because you're saying it keeps everything, right? And that's honestly another good reason to keep all of your threads kind of on the same topic, is because if you just keep putting new and new chats every time, I mean, you're going to have like a ton of threads over there on that left-hand side, and you don't want that either. But thank you for bringing that up as well, Marissa. So, okay, so now, in my opinion, this is where things get even better. This is the more of the fun part, in my opinion, where Google kind of merges with Gemini. Okay, so what you're going to do is, you see down here at the bottom, there's the settings gear. You're just going to click on settings, and you're going to open where it says extensions. Okay, now what this is going to do is open up a window, right? And you can go into bringing this extension that you can see there's the Google Workspace extension, and right now it's toggled off. So what you're going to do is you're just going to flip that switch. Okay, and what it's asking, you can see there's the Gemini logo, but now it's got all of these little icons for all of my Google, like my Gmail, Calendar, Google Drive, all of that. I'm going to say connect. And what you're going to see now is in the background, Gemini is kind of syncing in with all of my Google apps. Now, the thing is what it's doing is you're not going to be able to necessarily be able to go into your Gmail or your doc and see Gemini in there. I think that's the more higher version that we don't have, but what it will do is it will search and sync with all of your Google apps as long as you're searching for it in this Gemini page. So what we'll do is go back to the home page of Gemini, right here where we write a prompt. And now, let me see, I want to make sure I didn't skip anything. Okay, yeah, let's go look at some prompts, okay? So let's just say I've got an example prompt here. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second about it syncing. I want to show you something first real quick. I had kind of got ahead of myself. So I have a prompt here. One other thing, because this kind of goes with the theme of talking about email, is it will actually do a really good job of, if you're wanting to send an angry email or a rude email, it can actually reword those for you really easy. So that's a great tool, in my opinion, just for email, trying to make things more professional. So basically, I came up with this. Whoops! I'm so sorry. I copied in the wrong. Prompt. I have this. I'll have these prompts over here on the side. So let me type this in. So I put, reword this email to sound more nice and professional. Okay. So this was an email that I was about to send because I was so mad. Okay. And so I'm kind of embarrassed, but I'm just going to read this for you guys. Okay. I took out the person's name so you wouldn't know who I was going to email. I just put, hey, name, just wanted to gently bring to your attention that the deadline for the project is rapidly approaching. As per our previous discussions, you always know they're mad when they say as per, you know what I mean? Okay, it's as per our previous discussions. I'm sure you're super busy, but maybe just a quick glance at the calendar wouldn't hurt, right? As you can see, I'm obviously joking. I wasn't really going to send this to someone, but this is a great example of like a really mean, snarky, sarcastic email, right? So you could paste that in and say, reword this email to sound more nice and professional. So what it's going to do now is it's going to generate the professional version. And let's see what it comes up with. It says, gentle reminder regarding upcoming deadline. Dear name, I hope this email finds you well. This is a friendly reminder that the deadline for the project name is approaching on, and then the date. I understand you have a busy schedule. I wanted to ensure that you have ample time to complete this important project. So you can see it's still getting the point across, and that that this is a time-sensitive thing, but it completely reworded it to make it a little more professional and polite. So I think that's a really good tool for people who are working in a professional environment. You can use that to rewrite emails. And actually, I pasted that in the wrong thread. I should have used my email thread, because this is my email thread right here. But in any case, you can see how that works. Okay. Here's another cool example. I put, come up with a short session description on a training for Gemini teachers. Training on Gemini for teachers. Okay, and so just an example, using today as an example, you can see here it gives me a session description. So, and it even came up with a title, Unleash the Power of Gemini. So obviously we didn't use that, and it's really cool. You'll notice it gives a lot of bullet points, and I like those those kind of descriptions where it gives bullet points, it makes it a little more easier for the person to read. So you can see it's talking about enhancing student learning, streamlining the workflow, and fostering creativity. So it's hitting some really good points. And this is where, in my opinion, it's showing how AI can really just help you come up with things, even as a starting point, even if that's not exactly what you want to use. Does that kind of make sense? Marissa.
And here's just another suggestion that I hope will work. But if you add to that, Josh, and you say this will be a 30-minute session, can you give me a step-by-step guide with timestamps? Oh, if you want to add that to it, because the more you add to your
Specificity,
prompt,
right?
Instead of just refreshing and regenerating, you're actually saying this is a 30-minute session. Can you give me timestamps for a 30-minute session?
So let's try that. Timestamps for a 30-minute session. So you can see here it's helping you actually kind of plan out more. Oh, this is pretty crazy.
And right. Then if you could, I mean, you could say, give me detailed descriptions of what I'll say in each timestamp. The more you add to it and you keep generating more things, you'll notice you start to have better outputs. You could say detailed descriptions of what to say for each part.
So basically, what we're doing here is literally getting Gemini to almost script it out, right? Which is pretty crazy. But you can see that's a great example. See, it says 25 Q&A, closing remarks, important notes. It literally is going through the whole thing. Now, once again, like we were saying, it's very specific, but you aren't probably going to have the exact same thing. But this is a great starting point where you can copy this and edit it or reorganize it the way that you need it to be. So,
and then you can also be specific and say, at the 28-minute mark, can you replace this with, and so you can make changes and edits as you're going. Replace this with tips on how to use Gemini or something like that. But the more you add to it and edit the prompt, it'll give you a better output.
And let's see what it comes up with. So certainly, it even kind of answers back like a person. Here's how you can replace key takeaways with quick tips at the 28 mark. The original, it's telling me now revised. Here are a few quick tips to remember from today. Summarize key learn. And then from here, you would probably say, give me quick tips on, you know, something specific that you want it to be like, right?
Okay, or you can say, now put it all together so that you don't have to go back and copy paste. You can have it redo it all for you. So I almost feel guilty sometimes when I talk to my AI because I keep making him do edits, or him or her, whatever it is. But I keep saying, okay, and it's almost like you're constantly making it do things for you until it's correct and it's right how you like it.
Exactly right. So once again, you're kind of training it, I guess you could say, right? So thanks for that, Marissa. That's really cool. See, and honestly, that's a level of specificity that sometimes I don't even think about, but that kind of helps us to kind of break our way of thinking, right? You can literally get it to do all of that for you, and then still you can make your own edits. But actually, like what Marissa's saying, you have just type in your edits as a prompt and get it to do it for you. And so once again, it's kind of breaking out of my old mentality of the way of thinking into using an AI, right? So that's very good. Thank you, Marissa. All right, so I wanted to show you this. Come up with a session description for, oh, no, that was the wrong one. I had a teacher prompt. Give me an article link for teaching about eclipses. Right, so maybe you just want to find something online. You can get Gemini to search it for you. See, so there it's giving me the nasa.gov website, and if I click that link, it's going to show me that article. So to me, that's super amazing, and I can even interact with some of the things online through Gemini, right? So it says NASA space place eclipses. This website provides a comprehensive overview of eclipses for kids, including interactive activities. Okay, and then from there I could say, come up with activities, activities based on article. Maybe I want to come up with 2 activities. So you can get it to help you with the lesson planning. Eclipse shadow puppets, materials, and it's going to give you the materials: flashlight, balls, wall or a screen. It's giving you the instructions. And then the second one, Eclipse art project, materials, paper, crayons, instructions, and it's giving you all of that, right? Another one I wanted to try was come up with a lesson plan for my 6th. So that's more of an activity, right? But what about a whole lesson plan? So I put come up with a lesson plan for my 6th grade science class. So once again, I'm being very specific, that talks about how the moon creates the tides. And I even wanted to try a certain teak. So I went on the teak's website, and if I share this tab, you can see I was able to go to that teak and copy and paste that in. So what I did is just copied and pasted that in to my prompt, and I just forgot to add it to the prompt. So let me add it now, right? So I put come up with the plan and use this specific teak, and I'm referencing that page, and Gemini knows that page, searches it through Google, and references the page. And you can see it's giving me the grade level, the subject, and then the teak, which is 6.8a, investigate and explain how the sun and moon exert gravitational forces, right? And so once again, it's giving me the objectives, the materials, the lesson procedure. It's breaking it down into time as well. Introduction, gravity's got us 15 minutes, demonstration, and sometimes it gives you so much that you honestly have to whittle it down. But that's where you could go back to kind of like what Marissa was saying a while ago. You could get it to kind of form it the way that you need it to be. But it's giving me plenty to start with, which I thought was really great. So how much time do we have? We've got a little bit more time. This is where I wanted to show you guys some of the really cool. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Let's see. Let me show you guys what I was talking about here. Share this tab. So once again, when I pasted that in, this is what it gave me. So it gave me the lesson plan and the teak. It's referencing the teak right here, and it's giving me all of the objectives and the materials that I was telling you about. So this is why I was saying it gives you so much. Oh, and look, it even gives me another lesson plan: moonstruck by tides, right? And so this is where I could probably come in here and regenerate and get another version of that I might want to look at. Or like Marissa was saying, you just continue to prompt it until you get more of what you need. So that's just an example. I thought that was one of the most powerful examples. To come up with a whole lesson plan, to me, is something that probably what a lot of teachers are going to be using to help. Right. So now this is where I want to kind of get into some of those Google Workspace prompts. So if I could find, I think I had put it into the emails. Okay, I'm going to go to my emails thread, and I'm just going to type in here. This was that spooktacular thing, but this is now where you're going to see, since we toggled that little switch that I showed you a while ago, this is where you're going to actually see the power. So before we toggled that switch, I should have tried it and showed you what it looks like before. But basically, if you had tried a prompt like this before you toggled that switch and integrate your Gemini to your Google, it will just say, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Kind of give you like an error message. Not an error message, but it would just give you like a response saying, I don't know. But now that we've integrated that extension, it's going to be able to link and search through all of anything in our Google Suite, the Gmail app, the Docs app, all of that, our Drive. It's going to be able to look through all of that and integrate that. So here's an example. I just put, can you remind me what was my last email regarding Adobe? Okay, so I had this email about maybe Adobe Express and I couldn't find it, or I was trying to find this specific topic and so you see the little Gemini searching through all of the Google Workspace. You can see it working. It says, I checked your inbox for emails about Adobe. The most recent one I found was titled Adobe Assistance. Ah, yes, that was the one I was looking for, and was sent on November 15th. In this email, you were helping Jamie, I think her last name is Mauricio. Okay, so it's telling me what I was helping, and that I was also talking with Claudio, who's the guy that he's our representative with Adobe Education. He's an Adobe Education evangelist that came and did some trainings for us. And it's giving me, check this out, it's giving me all of the emails. And if I click this link, it's going to open up and take me to that email that it's referencing. I thought that was just crazy to be able to do that with your Gemini, right? Check this out. Let's see. I put, can you tell me what meeting? I'm still on my email. I have a bad habit of that. Okay, can you tell me what meeting is on today's calendar? Okay, so I'm forgetting the calendar. Oh, check it out. Gemini, your secret weapon. Oh, I have to give a training today. I totally forgot. I'm going to run late. It says you have a meeting at 2:30 p.m. called Gemini, your new secret weapon. And there, once again, it's referencing the calendar app. So if I click on that link, it's going to show my calendar, which I thought was really cool as well. Okay, so hopefully you can see the power of that. That it's actually giving you your going through and connecting with everything on your Google. I put, what was the meeting on Thursday, December 19th? There was a really important meeting that day, but I'm trying to remember what we talked about. And this was the meeting I had with Andrew from Canva. Okay. Now let's say you had like a department meeting, and maybe there was like something of an action item, or maybe a document that you need a reference, but you can't find that either. You could say, can you, or actually this is a different one. I'm mixing up my prompts here. I'll get to that one here in just a second. This one I put, can you summarize my last meeting with Isabel from the TI department notes doc? So we have a meeting with our supervisor, Ms. Isabel, and the director of technology integration. And we always have a document that's associated with our meetings, as I'm sure a lot of you have as well. And I wanted to kind of get a summary of everything from that last meeting, just to help me kind of think clearly about what I need to do after leaving the meeting. Well, guess what? You can ask Gemini to do that. So right now it's summarizing the meeting based off of that document. It's actually, I didn't even have to link to the document. It found the document for me and then summarized the meeting. That's, to me, that's crazy. Okay. It says your last meeting with Isabel was on December 18th. And this is what you talked about: attendees, purpose, discussion, action items. There weren't any specific action items recorded for this meeting. Oh, that's great. I didn't have any action items for this one. What if I did? It says, I put, can you remind me, because I'm still in the back of my mind, I feel like there's an action, there's something that I was supposed to do. Maybe it wasn't from the last meeting. Maybe it was from the meeting before that. So I put, can you remind me what action items were on the meeting before last? And check it out. Gemini actually will be able to do that as well. So it's searching through the same document, because it's a running document, but it's looking at that meeting from the one on December 12th this time. And it's showing all of the attendees, topics discussed. Okay, we talked about some of our TAD and all that cool stuff that we do. And then right here at the bottom, you can see, whoops, it's got my action items. Schedule technology roundup. Ah, that's what I needed to do. So I got to schedule that pilot at Jones. Okay, it says add virtual tech Tuesdays to the timeline, and then plan PD for February 17th. Okay, so obviously because that's an old meeting, but I just wanted to give you an example of how powerful this could be, of just kind of restating or summarizing meetings, or showing you your action items. Now, your action items are probably going to be in your Gmail as well, but I just thought this was a really cool way to get that information. So does anybody have any questions? Do we have time left? I was going to show y'all one more thing. Do we have, I think we end at 2:30, right? Okay. Any questions so far? I know I'm going really fast. Is anyone enjoying this? Great. Okay. So there was something else. And if you guys want to try something, feel free. Like, I'll be more than happy to try some stuff with you guys. Because like I said, we're kind of just casually doing this together and having fun together with Gemini. So there is one thing, another thing that I wanted to show you. I'm going to go back to my notes here. and that is the Gemini sidebar. Okay, so what I'm going to do is open the link, and basically I want to make sure I'm on the right tab here. I want to show you guys that tab. Where did I put that thing? Ah, here we go. Okay, can you guys see that? Hopefully everyone can see that. Okay, so if you just type in on Google, you can just type in Gemini AI sidebar. Okay, it's going to take you. You're looking for this one. There's a couple different ones, but this one I think is the best. It's just called Gemini AI sidebar. It's the dark one with like the two little stars. Okay, and it kind of looks like this. Once again, there's some links that I put into the presentation. If you want those, I can give them to you. But this is where it will take you, and it kind of gives you an overview, and this is what it looks like. And what you're going to do is just click Add to Chrome. So what that's doing is adding it to my Chrome browser as an extension. And it's going to say, yes, add extension. Okay, it might take a little bit. Okay, there it goes. And so now I get this page. It just says, welcome to Gemini. Now, this is different from what we've been using. This is just an extension that kind of puts Gemini onto a bar on the side. Okay, now what you want to do with this is you want to pin I like to pin my extensions. So I don't know, I don't think you guys can see that. I'd have to share my whole, let me see if I can share, because I want you guys to be able to see this. I want to share my whole entire screen. Here we go. Okay, can you guys see that? Are you seeing the Gemini page? Okay, great. So it's kind of just it's just a real short little page. It's just giving you some basic instructions. And so this is what you would do. I wish I could zoom in on that, but can you guys see the little puzzle piece right here where I'm kind of moving my mouse? That is all of the extensions that you have on your Chrome. Okay, so you can see I've got like Grammarly, I've got the Cami extension, I've got Adobe PDF. So here is the Gemini. Okay, there's this little like nail or push pin icon. Just going to click that. It's going to turn blue and highlight. And now you can see it brings it up here. Right now I've got Cami, and I think this is, what is this? This is Screencastify. So I've got those pinned already, and now I've just pinned my Gemini. So instead of having to go into here to click on Gemini, it's right there at the top of my browser. I know it's, guys, I'm sorry, I know that's super small, but there it is. And so now whenever I click on that, no matter what page I'm on, this dark side panel is going to come up, and it's kind of got Gemini in there. Okay. Now, there was some stuff I thought was really cool about the Gemini sidebar that I didn't necessarily see in Gemini. Now, actually, I know in Gemini, you can see here where I'm clicking, I know I can upload an image. Do you see that little upload image button that I'm clicking on right there? Let me see if I can zoom in. You see that button right there? I know I can use that to upload an image, but Marissa or Sherry, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you can upload a PDF into Gemini, but guess what? With this Gemini sidebar, I can actually upload PDFs. So I don't even have to be on this page. I could be on some other tab, right? But I can be using this sidebar. Maybe I'm on my, maybe I'm in my lesson for NASA, or maybe I'm looking at emails. I can have this on the side while I'm working to get it to do stuff for me, right? So there was this cool moon rocks PDF that I had found. I thought, you know, maybe like as a teacher, that would be something cool that I might want to reference. So what I did was I downloaded this. I just clicked the download. I found this PDF online. I just typed in moon PDF, and I found this PDF. So I'm going to download this, okay? And so I'm going to download the PDF, and it's here in my downloads now. And what's cool is I've actually already downloaded it, so I'm not going to download it again. But basically, I put into the prompt, I put, can you create 3 questions based on this PDF? and then I put specifically page 6. So I put my message into, I put my prompt into the chat. Okay, now you see this little paper clip? This is where I can attach the thing that I actually want the AI to reference. So here is my NASA moon PDF, and it's uploading that. And since I couldn't do this on the main Gemini, now I can do this on the sidebar, and I thought this was really cool. So I just wanted to create three questions based off of page 6. Okay, because page 6 is where I read about some cool moon stuff that was being specific about the solar system. So check this out. It says, whoops, did I tap that incorrect? Yeah, let me see. Okay, so this is a teacher's guide about exploring the moon. What kind of Earth and space science activities do you think they'd have in there? This encourages creative thinking about the activities likely present in the guide. Look at the picture. Number 2, look at the pictures. They've got a lunar lander and a footprint. So you can see it's, I think I might have referenced the wrong page, but basically you can see it's going to read that page for you and create questions. Create 3 basic questions for, I can't remember what grade I was even, I think it was 6th grade. Okay, and let's see what that gives me. Okay, here are 3 basic questions suitable for a 6th grader. What is the main topic of this teacher's? Okay, so it's a teacher's guide, so it's basically making its best guess of what it's looking at. So I might have just grabbed the wrong PDF. So I apologize for this bad example. But you can kind of see basically, right? If you find like a worksheet, it's going to read the worksheet, it's going to analyze it, and it's going to create questions based off of that. Based off number 2, based off of the pictures, what are some things that you think you might learn about in this guide? Right, so it's basically giving me questions based off of it being a guide. So that was a bad example, and I apologize. But you can find PDFs like that and upload them into there and basically create questions off of them. And you can try some of those other prompts the way that we did in the main Gemini page. But the power of it to me is just you can upload and attach things. There's this cool little voice input where you can actually kind of talk to it instead of having to typing, which I thought was really cool too. You can actually use the microphone with the main Gemini page as well. And over here at the bottom, there's this choose style button where you can go from normal conversation style. There's concise, which is brief answers, explanatory, which is a detailed explanation, and formal, which is like a business. Right, and so you can have those different settings, which I think is really beneficial too, because you're not having to actually type that into your prompt and say, make it sound professional. You can already just have it set to that style. Awesome. And then there's a chat history here. There's this little expand to full screen, which will take your sidebar and expand it full screen so that it basically looks like the main Gemini page. So that's really cool too. But I kind of like to just keep it on the side. Okay. And then, of course, once you get your answers, you can copy and paste or use that however you can copy. There's a little bitty copy button right there. So you can see it gives me a green check mark to say that I've copied that. So I know that that was a lot. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to go ahead and stop presenting this so I don't get this little crazy.
Hey, Josh.
Yes,
I really like your sidebar, but did anybody else, were you able to add that? It's telling me that the item is not available.
Really? So you're on the extension?
Well, I was trying to get the one that you recommended, and you said
Okay.
just to Google Gemini AI sidebar.
It's possible because I know there was a couple ones that were kind of similar. So that was the tricky part. Let me see if, let me try to chat you this. Let me try to put this link to that extension in the chat. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Give me 1 second here. I don't know what I did. This is just crazy. Okay, tell me if this doesn't work for you. because it's possible you might have, because they try to, sometimes they have like different sidebars.
Mm-hmm.
And different, there's a few different ones that kind of look similar.
Okay, great. Thank you. It's working now. I must have had the wrong one.
Awesome. I was afraid it was the right one and it just wasn't working for some reason, but it should work there. Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Awesome. Absolutely. Does anybody else have any other questions? Awesome. Well, guys, it's 2:30. To respect your time, I'll go ahead and say goodbye. If you need to get going, you're more than welcome to hang around for a few seconds if you have any other extra questions. But for today, I just want to once again thank you all for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.
Josh, this was a great